Ben Weir, the PGA Director of Instruction at Lone Tree Golf Club in Chandler, Arizona, is the recipient of the Southwest PGA Teacher of the Year Award for his outstanding service as a golf teacher, innovator, and coach. A PGA member since 2012, Ben has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to advancing golf instruction and coaching at every level. He holds accreditation in the PGA Certified Professional Program and has both attended and led numerous seminars and workshops covering topics from club fitting to improve your teaching and students' performance and critical aspects of the short game, to female instruction, building a teaching business, and coaching psychology. Since 2019, Ben is one of only 24 on-call PGA professionals nationally to serve as a PGA National Adjunct Faculty Member for teaching and coaching. Ben's work spans private coaching of junior, collegiate, and professional players, mentoring PGA associates, developing teaching proficiency across the industry, all the way to coaching our current sitting president of the United States as one of his short game instructors. At the facility level, he has championed junior, collegiate, and professional developmental programs, created innovative drills such as advanced putting and chipping routines, developed the player's prescription to tailor ongoing progress, and launched How to Practice and Rules program to deepen players' understanding of the game's fundamentals. Ben's impact extends beyond individual players through inclusive programming, including women's weekly clinics like Wine and Nine, expanded veteran programs via PGA Hope, and Semper Fi golf learning workshops. Additionally, clinics for minority and underserved youth, both nationally and internationally. His dedication to veterans was recognized in 2022 when a PGA Hope Honor Flag was flown over the U.S. Capitol for his service and commitment to supporting veterans through golf. The Teacher of the Year Award marks Ben's first recognition in the Southwest PGA. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to welcome the Southwest PGA Teacher of the Year, Mr. Ben Weir.
Being involved in a few years with the awards committee, I've seen your name a lot. I've seen your name up for consideration. As we know, we're lucky in this section to have such great teachers in this state, and that is a tough competition. And so I've gotten to know your work on paper for a long time, and the good news is your year has come.
Wow.
Absolutely impressive package.
I never wondered if it would ever come, but we have some great people behind us. So.
Yeah, I mean, if we could give 20 of them in 1 year, that would do justice. But that's tough.
A lot of great teachers.
But definitely worthy of it this year. So congratulations, first of all, for that.
You.
After years of helping others find their best game, what does it mean to have your peers recognize you as Teacher of the Year this year in the Southwest section?
It's hard to explain. This table to the right of me, we're a big inspiration. There's 3 generations of leaders at that table. And the owner of Lone Tree is Greg, just kept saying, hey, stick with it. You get told when you're second or third. And I was tired of getting that letter. So he said, hey, hang in there, stay the course, and you're doing great things. Don't change who you are. Keep forging ahead. And he was a big inspiration to me. Josh, our head pro, and Tommy says enough on how well he's done to get to the Phoenix Open. So there's a lot of great leaders at Lone Tree, and I'm just part of the glue, So
that's great. So you've said your mission is to raise the bar when it comes to teaching the game of golf, and that obviously very important craft. When did teaching and not just playing become a priority for you in your career?
That's a good question. Probably where I really first noticed it was the Asian tour I was playing. Very few people do have a diverse background of playing and teaching, coaching. So I played for 9 years out of 11 years. So when I was overseas, distinctly the Hong Kong Open, I was playing, and a couple guys were like, you don't hit many greens, but you get up and down everywhere, right? So I lived with Phil Mickelson a couple years in college in 90, 91, and so I wrote 3 notebooks. I have 3 different red notebooks of notes from short game, different intricacies, and his brother Tim was always laughing that he's like, you probably know my brother better than I do on short games. I studied him. I was always studying him to learn what the great players do and how to become better.
Yeah.
And so I think when I shared some of my wisdom, I want to give Phil a lot of benefit of that. And then Derek Fung made the British Open, and another gentleman made the U.S. Open. So I was playing, and a couple of my players made higher tournaments, and so it's pretty funny. When you have enough people tell you the same thing, a couple of people came to me and said, "You're a great player, or a pretty good player. Maybe not great is the word they use, but a solid player. But if you can affect people, if you can coach people and affect the masses, where I can help people in the short game and full swing also. But it's a little niche that I have with short game that a lot of people don't, maybe aren't as aware of it as in our field as much as I'd hope, right? So I've become a little efficient at that, or proficient, and so I just enjoyed helping others, get to a higher level. And so if enough people tell you maybe you should help the masses and not play so much, I'm like, if enough people tell you, I better listen. So I started to listen and help people.
So you're known for blending technical knowledge with coaching psychology.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance the mechanics of the golf swing with the human side of learning and understanding the game?
Good question. The mechanics for sure come from the PGA book work, studying, learning from, I've had 4 of the top 25 perennial top, like Golf Digest instructors. I always tell people I'm just kind of I'm a mutt of 4 instructors. I'm just like that dog that has different people helping them.
Yeah.
And so I I try to adopt the best, the best qualities of each instructor, from Mike Malaska to, Dane Campbell to Ed Oldfield to, Jeff Costin. So I try to take the best from each person and kind of make it my own, is what I try to do. Because there's always someone better than you somewhere. And so I always try to pick the best from and learn. If you're not learning, you're not growing, right? And if you're not growing, you're not you're standing still. So try to get better every day, and that's the goal, to help people.
Yeah. So you've coached everyone from juniors to tour level players,
Mm-hmm.
including the sitting president of the United States. What's the most common swing flaw? I'm really curious about this question.
Yeah.
What's the most common swing flaw you see, no matter what their skill level is?
Probably, as simple as it sounds, I would say holding the instruments, the grip. A lot of people, it's surprising how many even great players stray away from the grip, whether they get too strong or too weak. So I always say, if you don't hold the instrument properly, good luck. So it has to be neutral to slightly stronger people. I always kind of joke with the younger kids. I'm like, if you have somebody, do you want to be known as a strong guy or a weak guy, right? The kids, and so it's like that girl that looks at you in the lunchroom. If you want to date her, do you want her to be strong? You want her to know that you're strong or weak? So you better err on the weak. You better err on the strong side. If the weak side is not the way to go. So we don't want any weak grips around here. So yeah.
So it's the grip. I think that's smart. So at Lone Tree, you've built programs like Player's Prescription and Advanced Short Game Routines. What problem were you trying to solve with those specific ideas?
Accountability, for sure. The Player's Prescription was kind of something I came about a long time ago, and it's copyrighted, and I was just like, well, it's important to the Player's Prescription. A lot of instructors don't put themselves on paper, what I call it. So it's important that I write down the notes, and now it's e-files. It used to be hard copies, right, when I started, but now it's e-files. And so I write a prescription for every player that I coach. Doesn't matter if they're 5 years old or 90. I write a prescription, I send it off to them. And it's very important that they have that because they can come back later on, and they can't, when they come back, they can't say, hey, I don't remember what's one of the things you told me. I'm like, no, there it is right here. And so it's very important that they have that. And also, too, some instructors out there, they don't want to put themselves out there where, I think it's very important, hey, you got to stand behind your word.
Yeah.
And so when I say something, I always tell people, you can text this to one of my mentors, is Butch Harmon, as a young man, Tiger's first coach. I'm like, you text this or email this to Butch Harmon and say, does Ben Weir know what he's talking about? It's very important that you stand behind your product. And so I firmly believe, what we're talking about is that if you stand behind your product and you know it's true, you can always refer back to it. So they can I always say they can go back to their normal lives of their business life or personal life, and whether it's 2 days or 6 months, and they can pick up my notes and look at it and go, oh, I forgot, that's right, my posture. Right, so they can come back, not everybody has time to play every week, every day, multiple times. So there's different skill levels of how they go in and out of, some people get to play 4 days a week, some people get to play 4 times a year. Yeah. So you have to apply to the masses. So.
Do you document every student?
Every student. Yeah, I can go back to 2007.
I ask that because those watching in the room are always trying to perfect their craft, right?
For sure.
And we all do it a little bit differently, and that's impressive to be able to document that. And that's the prescription, right?
Thank you. That's a player's prescription. That's right.
You do it after the lesson immediately, or at night?
It just depends on I kind of see what their needs are. So you have to sift and sort, I call it, and shift gears when necessary. So if someone needs to hit balls for 3 or 4 balls in a row, yeah, I'll back up and say, hey, hit those 8 irons for 3 or 4 8-irons. I'm gonna start my notes here, or finish my notes, and so I'll jump in and kind of give them their own space. So I don't crowd people, so yeah.
That's a great note. So you've expanded access to the game through women's clinics, through veteran programs, and outreach to underserved youth specifically. Why has inclusion become such a core part of your work?
Well, inclusion. So inclusion, I always tell people, is they're the forgotten ones, right? So everybody knows that so many people love to play all the time, but you got to remember the people that nobody should be forgotten. So whether it's underprivileged youth or wife that wants to play with her husband or whatever it is. If you make veterans happy and wives happy, the wives will make the husbands will be happy. The veterans, if you make the veterans happy, we're all happy, right? So the kids, and I always say the foundation is if the kids are happy, that's our future in golf. So that's why I admire people like Tyler and these people that are helping grow junior golf. They're like, why are you so involved with junior golf? You could just pass it off to other instructors. I'm like, no. I have kids of my own, and I want to help the youth because that's our future of golf. That's who's coming through our door, in the future. So why wouldn't we help people that are the future of our game? It only makes sense.
Sure. We've heard a common theme tonight. So many award winners are involved in PGA Hope or veterans type programs. It's a common thread. What has working with veterans specifically taught you as a coach?
Jeez, wow. Probably the most is humility and not too graceful. Yeah. So grace. Just the work ethic they teach me. When I see the veterans, one gentleman changed my life in the 3rd class I ever had. He came to me and said, "You've changed my life." And I was like, "How so, sir?" And he said, "I just want to hit golf balls." I said, "Oh, that's great, sir." He says, No, you don't understand. He says, when I came back from, I had the PTSD when I came back, and I had really bad thoughts in my head about, shooting guns in public and hurting people, and I've locked myself in my house for 30 days at a time, and I'm like, "What, sir? What do you mean, sir?" He says, "Well, all I want to do is hit golf balls now. I want to shoot golf balls now." He called it shooting balls. I want to shoot golf balls, and I don't want to shoot guns anymore. And I'm like, well, that's amazing, sir. You know that. So right there, from that point, third lesson, the third Friday of that PGA Hope, absolutely changed my life. So,
That's great. Changed the ammo, right?
it
From a
changed,
bullet
yeah.
to a golf ball.
It was
We
pretty
love that.
pretty special to think that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I affected anybody, but I want to think I did.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So you mentor PGA associates as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most important lesson you try to pass on to future teachers?
Well, there's quite a few, but if I had one we coach at headquarters, you know, the levels 1 and 2 of teaching and coaching, we always tell them, you know, don't inundate people with too much information. You know, be careful of the information you give. Just because someone's paying you $200, $300 an hour, don't overload them. So I promise people, I always say, I only make one promise. When you leave here, you won't be confused.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing it's a big fear of a lot of subjects or pupils that come to you. They're very apprehensive, like, oh, it's going to change my whole swing. What's it going to do? Tear apart my swing? I'm like, no. That's not how it works. You know,
Right.
we start with the basic principles, and it's about product knowledge, and then correlating that knowledge and bringing it to the forefront where you relate to your customer. And so I just make sure it's real simple. So I tell all the young guys, you know, whatever you do, pick 1 or 2 subject matters, go forward. Don't throw the whole sink at them, because that's very common, and a lot of young people that are aspiring, trying to grow climb the company ladder. Of coaches, they want to give too much information. It's a dangerous thing to do.
Sure. I got one more question for
Mm-hmm.
you. So for golfers and instructors alike, what's one principle that can make practicing the game of golf more meaningful?
Practice make it more fun and more meaningful.
Just what's the most productive way for a person to practice versus just hitting balls for the sake of hitting balls?
Great question. I get this quite all the time. So switching things up.
Yeah.
So I'm always changing things. It's never the same. You know, just like you never get the same shot, same win, same lie. You never get that twice, right? You can replicate it, but you never get the same lie or shot twice. So always switching up the practice routines where, you know, and then identifying, you got to make sure that whatever your student is, you have to identify. It's all about relationships, right? After product knowledge. So once you have, obviously you've studied to get the knowledge, then the relationship. Once you build a rapport in the relationship, then you have to teach them how to practice, you know, well. And probably so. Going around the green, like, hey, do you need to work on tight lies, heavy lies, downhill, side hill, uphill, whatever the case may be, you know, always switch it up. So I call it target confusion. You know, you're always practice confusion. So if you're always being thrown in the mix where your senses are always heightened,
Yeah.
then you'll always be a better person coming out. You might miss some shots or have some difficulties, but you always come out where you're learning something, because it's not always about being perfect. I always tell people, hey, when I coach people, I play both sides of the game. You know, a lot of instructors, you know, give or take, they're always like, here's what you're doing incorrectly, which is not wrong. That's absolutely correct. But what Coach Lloyd taught me at ASU is you have to play the other side of the game. So when someone's doing something well, and hey, this is why you're hitting it long and straight, or this is why you're hitting a power draw, whatever it is, you know, you have to reinforce what you do well. So you have to play both sides. Hey, this is why you're hitting a really hard, solid draw. This is why you're topping it, you know. So you have to play both sides. As long as they understand that, and you're always keeping things, you can always confuse them in a fun way, then golf's, I always tell you what the bottom line is, golf's just still a game. Like, you know, and probably the last thing I came up with the Semper Fi in January, is I came up with they invited us to our dinner the first night, and I said, you know, changing golf one swing at a time.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do, and I'm visiting a bunch of sections, Iowa section, South Florida section, to share my craft. I want to help people learn the short game aspects that's kind of a little forgotten.
Well, Ben, your passion is obvious tonight. in this room and talking about golf. I know you light up when you like to talk about the game of golf and the golf swing. You're innovative and you're an expert. So well done on being our 2025 Teacher of the Year in the Southwest PGA, and enjoy that year with that title.
Thank you so
Well
much.
deserved, well
Thank you
earned.
so much.